My name is Nelson Loughran. I work in, my normal job would be research and development. I build and design custom outdoor furniture for a shop not very far away from here. This would be the basement of my house, which is completely filled with toys. This is kind of the random Star Wars collection here, like little keychains, random stuff I picked up over the years. My Boba Fett helmet, which my sister got me for Christmas. This is probably the first thing I got that a family member knew that I was a collector. And this is my the vintage Thundercats collection, which I just recently picked up. I think I'm gonna attempt to tell myself that I'm gonna be happy with, you know, just getting Jackalman, and I've got the whole original first season, but there's a few more to go, and it's probably gonna want to be one of those hunting things. This is all my Spawn stuff. Came across a guy in Kijiji a few years ago, and he had all this Spawn stuff, and it was a great deal. It was all sealed in packages, and it was duplicates. So I picked it up thinking this is gonna be a great investment. I'm gonna get all the Spawn characters I want, and I'm gonna get them carded. Little did I know that the market value for Spawn figures, period, right now is essentially nothing. They're probably worth less than what they were on the card when they were available brand new. But I think they're cool. I dug Spawn when I was younger. I've got the collection of comic books and stuff, and Todd McFarlane is probably one of my favorite artists in the comic book world right now. This is the recent edition. It's my Motu collection, and sadly it's missing Skeletor, it's missing He-Man, and a few others. It's a pretty expansive line. He-Man and Skeletor are on the way. They sadly didn't arrive here in the mail before we shot, but they will be here. And I watched a lot of videos on YouTube, and these other ones kept popping up about making mountains and train sets and stuff, so I went out and I found a bunch of blue foam, and I decided to try and make my own cliff for Castle Grayskull. So that's my attempt, and my wife was kind enough to have a bag of fake moss on hand, so it worked out great. I don't know, between me and my friends, we like to call it a disease, and it is very much so. I don't think you can ever really get to the end of your collection. I think when you get to that point where you've got everything you possibly want, there's that one more thing you're always gonna chase, or that other line that maybe you feel a connection to from your childhood. And then moving along here, I clearly have an abundance of Autobots, which is, it's kind of an accident. I don't prefer Autobots to Decepticons, maybe just because of Optimus Prime being my favorite character, but yeah, this is pretty much a lot of stuff from the last probably 4 or 5 lines of Transformers. I did back in the day have quite a few Generation 1 Transformers, but the collecting world is probably gonna kill me, but I just thought the new Transformers, the new molds, they look way better than the G1 stuff. The G1 stuff, a lot of it bugged me because they just looked like they were standing there, and they had no life to them. This is probably the biggest display in the basement. It's Star Wars Land, which it's referred to in my house, and I've actually got my friends calling it that now, and they come over and they were eager to see my additions to it because I'm adding things to this all the time. But yeah, so I built myself a kind of an Imperial bunker here, and I've kind of combined all the generations of Star Wars into one. So I've got the clone troopers with the stormtroopers, and they serve the same purpose, right? So, and I've got my you know, Darth Vader's hanging out with Kylo Ren, with the Emperor, and clearly that's not canon, but that's the way it works in my world. So I think the thing that makes action figures special is, like I mentioned before, like that connection to your childhood, that feeling young again. And I think when you're a kid, you look at action figures in a different perspective, obviously, than when you're older, because the reason I create my dioramas and things like that is because when I was a kid, you would watch a Transformers commercial and it's like, right on, oh my God, Devastator just came smashing through that brick wall. I want that brick wall. I don't really care about Devastator. I want that scenery and G.I. Joe and all those, and that's kind of what I've done with my collection now, is kind of recreate that, what I would have wanted as a child kind of thing, I guess. And then we kind of get into what I call like the living space, or the markets and stuff like that, where I've just kind of tried to set up kind of a living world where you've got people, you've got little stands, you've got a market, you've got Jawas just kind of hanging out with army guys. And that's one thing, like I've still retained a few little GI Joes and offshoot little 3 3/4 lines. So you'll find a lot of those guys. Like I've got Scorpion and Smoke from Mortal Kombat just kind of chilling out by this house. And yeah, there's a GI Joe guy there. I think, I can't find them right now, but there was some Battlestar Galactica guys hanging out here somewhere, but it's hard to keep track of them all when you got so many. And then going down here, this is kind of my cantina or bar where I've got, you know, all the great characters hanging out in this little cantina. I've got Destro hanging out at the bar with Yoda, which is clearly not correct in any ways, except here. But yeah, we got Captain Jack Sparrow, we've got Indiana Jones, some random guy. I still have no idea who he's from or what he does, but he hangs out in the bar. Captain Kirk, we've got you know, some Vipers hanging out from G.I. Joe with Jabba the Hutt around the corner here. And yeah, it's just a kind of just a bustling market. It looks like I'm gonna need another basement for sure. What I'm trying to tell myself right now is that, okay, He-Man is gonna be the last thing. He-Man is the last thing I'm gonna collect. And I know better, I'm just telling myself that. But you know, I've actually just recently used up the last valuable part of real estate in my basement. And I think from there, I think it just kind of evolves in the way, like I'm actually thinking now that maybe I should get rid of these and do this or anything like that. But I guess as long as you got space, it's just gonna keep going.